guys. Yes, Coach Braun, you went into the half not down by much at all, really neck and neck. What did you tell your girls in the locker room?
There's a lot of flash and fun. Look at this here at the beach. These girls, they're not rocking their school colors. It's neon.
Absolutely, and Carrington is no stranger to the state tournament. We're here last year, have been times before, but they've never won state. You guys just came out roaring. Were you surprised to see that goal like 20-some seconds in?
I don't know if you can have a better start than a goal first shift of the game.
The challenge comes even before you throw the stone. Getting used to the slick sliding shoe, balancing on the broom, and then throwing the rock. Here goes nothing.
Stephanie Goetz, who's alongside a very happy Hannah Bresky and Taylor Kraft.
Very happy ladies indeed. First of all, Taylor, is this kind of a dream starting to come true? This is your senior year, you're going to championship.
Definitely. You know, we wanted to get right back to this exact game. NDSU is going dancing. It's something that's never happened in Bison history. They are cutting down the Summit League championship net, and they're going to the big dance.
Where competitors hit a 4-inch teed-up drive down more than 4 football fields. Check this out, Trey McKinney-Jones driving through Bison defenders and a nice slam.
Jeremy Johnson, obviously a trooper, a true battler. When you saw that last goal, was that shocking? It's gonna be an interesting night.
Welcome
definitely.
to the V.
And you gotta watch out. Italy, Belgium, and South Korea. Caroline, what is it like being here and cheering? A team ready? 1, 2, 3. Team! All right, John.
Good evening, everyone. It was a tale of two halves for the Bison men's basketball team, NDSU and Kansas City, and somehow the Bison pulled out a win. That's because their two biggest rivals, the Packers and Bears, they're sailing right through. In Chicago today, the Bears fighting for a trip to the NFC Championship game. First quarter, third play of the game, Jay Cutler chucking a downfield 58-yard touchdown pass. Look at that beauty to Greg Olson. Bears draw first blood 7-0. Valley News Live has learned UND forward Danny Cristo is recovering at a St. Paul hospital after severe frostbite.
In the FM area?
Well, Valley News team's Kristen Helgeson shows us what it's like from the ground. Kristen, I know you've been out there for a while. At the storm heading straight for the valley. Good evening. Glad you're with us this evening. I'm Stephanie Goetz. Now look at this. These are pictures from the massive storm that's headed right for us. Look at this. Up here is Williston. We see Dickinson back here. There's plenty of snow, some sleet, some rain. No travel advisory continues in western and central North Dakota. Besides I-94 being closed from Dickinson to Jamestown, Highway 83 is closed from Bismarck to Minot. On paper, it sounds like the perfect solution to flood fighting fatigue. Sandbags on sale for 10 cents a piece. Well, we found the listing on Craigslist. Throwing roughly 30,000 bags, putting in a lot of work. Now, to give you an idea, earlier this morning, there was nothing here. It was sand, it was grass, it was the river. A vast majority of gas pumps, they take credit cards, and a well-intentioned person might think they swiped their card and they didn't, or they actually swipe it and it doesn't work and they drive off. Now, that is not who authorities are looking for. As you can see here, the water is high and it is rising quickly over some 4,500 acres of farmland. The money would go towards operating costs like heating and electricity. They would have to leave their patients at their clinic to come be bedside here. The reason for this massive amount of water is the Highway 210 dike that was just put up yesterday. Dairy Queen here gets 75% of this from Cisco. He was arrested in rural Mahnomen County for an outstanding warrant for burglary in an unrelated case. Closer than we think. Well, Zach does have a defibrillator that was placed in his chest that could shock him if he does again have a heart attack. But the big question is, when will he get to come home? Now, Zach's dad, Steve, told me earlier today that they're shooting for April 1st. That's next Friday, but that is simply a goal and obviously a lot of progress. Hospital coordination with local facilities, all of that has to happen first.
So, Steph, back in Minneapolis, and it sounds like Zach could be back on the court over the next 24 hours?
Yes. Mike and Robin, I'm as close as we can be. Look at these massive trap bags. Okay, they're about 6 feet tall, full of sand to protect these residents from rising floodwaters. People will be filling the bags, they'll be tying them, and then you'll be throwing them. With this haze is just moving into the area. It hit Bismarck around noon and has marched east since then. Call it a haven, his home away from home, his everything. That's what basketball means to this outstanding Pahrump teen.
I couldn't come up with the words to describe his love for basketball. That is his life. That is his 24/7.
But that life almost ended when Zach Gabbard collapsed while running down the court in a game last month. Within seconds, a nurse and a doctor watching the game rushed to his side. They opened his airway and began CPR.
They may have helped him in the long run as far as rehabilitation because they were there for instant response.
Within minutes, the Glendon Rescue Squad arrived. But Steve says they came somewhat short-handed.
When they said the tanks weren't there, I mean, I can keep looking down now. Just remember, I'm looking right down there at those tanks and thinking that, I mean, what do you mean they don't have oxygen in them?
Valley News Live was unable to confirm this. Brock Frankie, a supervisor for the Glendon Rescue Squad, told us they carry oxygen on the truck on every call. When we asked if those tanks were full or empty, his response again was, we do carry oxygen on the truck on every call. It's estimated it took 10 minutes for FM ambulance to arrive.
If a person has gone into cardiac arrest, you have to breathe for them, you have to circulate that blood for them. 4, 5, 6.
It wasn't until I started thinking afterwards and started talking to the doctors afterwards that it started eating on me.
When we pressed the rescue squad on the oxygen issue, Frankie told us he couldn't divulge specific information on the Gabbard rescue, citing HIPAA privacy law. And he said especially because Gabbard was a minor. Why is this so important? Doctors say it's paramount to get the heart pumping again after it quits. But just as important is getting oxygen into the lungs. Because every moment without it, your brain, heart, and kidneys can suffer long-term damage.
Every one of them says it would have been better if he would have gotten on instant oxygen.
Others say too much importance is being placed on the oxygen question. The nurse on scene immediately started CPR, and our experts say that forcing oxygen into Zach's lungs, along with chest compressions, did him the most good. The fact that he had been gulping large amounts of air while running up and down the court probably meant that he had some oxygen in his bloodstream. No one can say for sure that the bottled oxygen would have helped, but all agree it couldn't have hurt. Still, the what-ifs continue to stick in the back of this father's mind.
I just want basically my son back, and I'll worry about all the other headaches later.
I don't think I could look the man in the face that killed my son.
Ralph Leframboise says he feels an emptiness. He was hoping that something more would happen, that justice would be served in the death of his teenage son.
Arrested and charged with something, you know. Joel was just a teenager.
This guy's going to try to kill me.
But it wasn't. This man, Vernon Allen, is free of criminal charges after he shot and killed Ralph's son Joel this June when he walked disoriented into Allen's home.
Why did he have to bring a gun out?
Ralph says the self-defense law that freed Allen needs to be changed and that there's no justifiable taking of someone's life.
I believe there's different measures you can take. You know, instead of shoot and kill somebody, you could shoot to wound them. You can do some other, there's other ways of going about things.
It's really frustrating. They're still heartbroken. They've been mourning the loss of their son for a while now, and we're really hoping to find peace with the justice system.
This mourning father says he's still trying to process it all, wondering what to do next, but knowing he could never face one man.
And that's when I pulled the trigger on the shotgun, because I'd rather it be him than me.
It's been a surreal 8 days for Jim Blana and his son.
Not the best. We found a tennis shoe stuck in a fence, one that he was wearing.
Jim, along with his 21-year-old son Jeremiah, have been spearheading a county-wide week-long search for their son and brother. A man Jim says was living the cowboy dream, helping him with his 450-head cattle ranch. But today, few clues, leads, or answers.
He was just down visiting friends, and then he went shopping at Walmart and came out here. This is where his mother lives, and got a flat tire.
Family and rescue crews are searching up and down the James River, as well as spanning across it. Earlier, they found socks and footprints on the east side of the river, but they're unsure if they're Joshua's.
I was very scared, so that's why we came right away.
Aunt Susie Mathwick and her son made this 6-hour trip from Wisconsin right away.
Walking around.
Lending a hand and support.
We were texting each other on Sunday night, just right before this happened.
A tight-knit family looking for the missing link. A week that this father never thought would be spent here.
I can't even imagine what he's feeling, because as bad as it hurts me, it has to be 100 times worse for him.
But this rural Kensal farmer says he won't give up hope and will keep trudging.